Lin, for people that don't know you well, can you please tell us what is your role at ATFX?
So I am a Vice President for Strategic Partnerships and Affiliates. And that basically means that I am finding partners globally for all our key markets, which we can use for commercial, but also strategic opportunities.
What is the opportunity that you see in growing markets like Asia or Latam?
So first of all, we have seen a tremendous growth overall, both in India and also in Southeast Asia. People are extremely driven. I think when you come, as I grew up in Denmark and I live in UK now, and I don't want to be rude to people in Europe, but I think we're a little bit more complacent at this point, a little bit spoiled. Like, we have had a good time for a long time, where I feel when I go to Asia, when I go to Latam, I go to Brazil, people are very driven, they're very hungry. Most people I meet, they always have a job and a side hustle. Very few people only do one thing, because everybody really want to succeed. They're very ambitious. I'm very sure if I ask any people here that do at least two, you can see everybody now that listening is actually nudging. And I think that is the drive we see, and this is the opportunity we see in this market.
I can see that ATFX is very active across live events like this one, for instance. So why is it still very important to be present in person, even when you are an online company?
So first of all, I am a very social person, and I believe the more AI we get, actually I think the more people actually like the one-to-one experience. Let's be honest, I think all of us have had a situation with a chatbot that we just want to yell at. Agent, you give me a real person. Because I think people are tired of the fakeness. We see a lot of AI generated content that looks very generic, very fake. And because of that, people like the one-to-one experience. They like to actually have a real person to talk with. And one of the reasons I joined HFX was that when I met my boss, he was sitting on a panel and telling about how HFX was different, because we still value the one-to-one experience, where everybody seems like they're going more automated. HFX still keep this very white glove service, which I think makes us unique. And this is we want to be present. We want to be seen, we want to meet people, and we want to hear people's feedback.
Lin, you have openly shared about your journey surviving cancer. So what did that experience teach you?
Taught me a lot. I think before I got diagnosed, I was one of those people who like to complain a lot and always made excuses, not really keeping myself accountable. After I was diagnosed, it changed first of all, I really appreciate life. I'm one of those people who are very, almost annoyingly positive and happy every day, because I really appreciate life. Instead of being upset about all the things you cannot control, you can control things yourself. So for instance, the weather, you cannot control that, but I can control, how nice I accessorize in bad weather. Exactly, you can have cute little outfits. I live in UK, so you can imagine I have a lot of cute accessories. But also, for instance, I decided to take full control of my body. I exercise quite a lot. And I decided I want to be the best. I want to be in the 1%. So everything I do now physically is to try to push myself to be in the top 1%.
That is awesome. I really love your positive outlook in life. Really admiring. Regarding your fitness journey and how you want to be on the top 1%, let's talk about high performance. What, in your view, makes a high performer?
So in my opinion, it's 80% in your head. I think a lot of people, we have somehow been wired to think that we cannot do things. That we can look at the athletes and they can do amazing things, but we can never accomplish this ourselves. And I think one of the reasons HYROX that I do became so popular is it was one of the first sports that normal people can do and actually excel in. And it makes us feel like super athletes. And then obviously the better your time becomes, the more you realize how close you actually come to some of those people that you admire. So I think for me and I consider myself a high performer, I'm one of those people that can go into a race and just say, okay, I'm going to crush it. And then I can wait 3 hours and then I do one more race. I don't really have physically a limit for how much I think I can do. So far I've done 4 in one weekend. And I still felt that I could have done more.
You probably burn around 2,400 calories alone in the one, whatever it is, an hour and a half. And doing 4 competitions in a weekend, that's incredible. Can you share a little bit with us what keeps your physical performance so efficient? Like, what is your daily routine? How does your eating habits look like? Your exercise habits, sleeping?
First of all, I have a very stringent exercise routine. I exercise between 10 to 14 hours a week, no excuse. Even when I travel, like, you know, even if I know I have a 14-hour travel, I either make sure to exercise 2 hours before, or make sure I can exercise as soon as I land. And there's absolutely no excuse for me for not to do it. If I'm tired, I will accept a yoga session, fasting, 16/8 fasting, 5 days a week. Actually, I was super miserable until yesterday because I had the fasting, and because the breakfast was so good at the hotel, I had to eat at 7, and then I stopped eating at 3 p.m. until 7 a.m. next day, and I maintained that now for 10 days. So today was the first day I broke that. I allow myself 2 days once in a while, because for instance I'm playing poker, so I won't have the energy. But I would say one of the things that makes me excuse me, a high performer is I have removed all toxins from my life. That also means mental. I don't surround myself with toxic people. If I feel anyone is unhealthy for me, doesn't mean it's necessarily anything wrong with them. It's just unhealthy for me. Some people are allergic to milk. Doesn't mean the milk is bad for everybody. It's just bad for the ones who are allergic. Something I know is going to drain me, make me more bad, feel bad about myself. There's no reason for me to keep it around. Same thing in the job, same thing in life. So I'm very mindful about keeping myself with good energy, so I can be the best for the people I care about. I think a lot of people tend to keep bad people around, maybe when they actually forget. By giving bad people energy, they take it from all the good people that I actually want to give to. And I think that's a really important thing.
Yeah, it's so key to safeguard your own energy,
Yeah.
because you also, any exchange that you have with anyone, you're always giving out energy,
Of course.
giving, receiving. So it has to be sort of a mutual exchange, like a positive mutual exchange. Lin, what is your favorite station in HYROX?
Oh, okay.
And why?
So, okay, my favorite station by far is burpees. Nobody loves burpees more than me. I would do burpees right here now. If not, it would be super weird. Ankle surgery so when I got cancer, I started running. And because I'm an idiot and overdo things, I lost a ligament in my ankle. So I had double ankle surgery. So I couldn't do burpees for many, many years. Then afterwards, I had a split sternum surgery. So obviously, really not make burpees because my chest and my ankles are ruined. And then 3 years ago, I realized I could do a burpee. I was so happy. And actually every time I do burpees is a reminder how far I've come, that I managed to recover myself from my ankle surgery, from my chest surgery, and a physical reminder. And I'm actually training for something called the world's toughest mile right now, where you have to do 400 meters of broad jump burpees, 400 meter bear crawl, 400 meter lunges, and 400 meter run.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's
Let's do it together. I want to do it. I enjoy doing something really hard when my body is screaming no. And I see that your personality, yourself, you also like to thrive in really high pressure situations. So how did you get to that point?
So it was not like something I just woke up to. So when I got diagnosed with cancer, I started lying in my bed for a long time and feel really sorry for myself. And then my husband, who already exercised, convinced me to try to run with him. And I ran for measly 10 minutes the first time. I made a joke to him as well, like maybe if I don't die of cancer, I can die of this running. But he convinced me to keep going, and slowly the run became a little bit longer, not faster actually, but it became longer. And I managed to do a half marathon. It took 3 hours, the first one. And obviously that was a huge mental win, a victory for me to be able to do that. And then slowly, and I'm one of those people, like, you know, when I somehow, when I overcome something, no matter how slow I am, I do get very confident from it. And like even my first HYROX, I screwed up. I ran 11 kilometers instead of 8. And where most people would take it as like, oh my God, I'm an idiot, I did too many kilometers. I was like, oh wow, I can do a HYROX with 11 kilometers, so what can I not do with 8 kilometers? And that's why I signed my HYROX number 2 and 3 was the same day Milan. Because I thought if I can do one with 11 kilometers, I can probably do 2 as well. I actually said to someone today, I have never reached my physical limit, as much as possible. I hope the ultramarathon maybe is going to give me a humble pill. Maybe not. Maybe if they will allow me to do, in London now I hope to do 5 HYROX, so I will do all categories. Women's double pro, women's double, single, mixed double and relay. Maybe after 5 in a weekend I'll be humbled. I don't know, but I don't think so.
Wow, I love that driven spirit. So what is next in your life now?
So besides, for me, one thing is fitness, but it's also academic. So I have done my MBA and my master the last 5 years. I hope to do my doctorate now. So I feel when I say high performance, it's not just fitness, it's career, it's academic. I'm working on a book with my sister that I found 11 years ago. So it's in all aspects of life. I basically want to prove, not just to myself, but to everybody who maybe need motivation, that as long as you can think it, you can accomplish it. Doesn't mean that it will be easy. It doesn't mean that it will not be challenging. But I believe that winners are the ones who can push to that discomfort. A lot of people, as soon as they be a little bit uncomfortable, they stop. But instead of stop, you push through it. It doesn't matter what aspect. And I think everybody can excel at everything if they put their mind to it. So yeah, doctorate, obviously the ultramarathon, my 5 HYROX in one weekend. Who knows, maybe try 3 HYROX in one day. I've never tried to do 3 in one day, I've done 2. I don't really feel there's any limit.
There's no limit.
No.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You can transfer being a high performer in fitness to a high performer in your job or writing a book or your finances. Do you think that becoming fit first help you achieve everything else in your life? So if I give you a choice, fit body or $1 million, what would you choose?
Fit body. No, absolutely. I don't even have to think about that one. The problem about not having a fit body is that you will, even if you were successful, your confidence will still struggle from it. Your energy level will struggle from it. You will have brain fog. There will be a lot of other elements. I have been going to a hard time with my husband where we didn't have a lot of money, but we always tried to push through. Like my husband lost his job. There was a lot of other things. I was the breadwinner of the family for quite some time. We never stopped exercising because as soon as you give up on yourself on one element, you wire your brain to believe that you can give up on yourself, period. So I 100% think, I always say it's like having a really nice car. The car can look great, but if the engine is rubbish, you're not going to drive very far. You need to have a strong engine, and that's the only thing. Then when the engine is good and strong, you can race, you can drive far, but you can only do it if the car is in good shape. And that's exactly the same with your life and your body.
Great answer. How do you measure your fitness, your sleep, your energy?
I'm extremely data-driven as a person. So I'm one of those fanatic people who use a Garmin and a Whoop. So obviously,
you have both.
I have both exactly. Like you know, I also have like no, I don't have one here.
And I have.
No. So but I do measure, particularly because obviously I'm also getting older. Like you know, then I measure my VO2. My VO2 is quite important because I only have 60% lung capacity after surgery. So the more oxygen I can intake is very good. And then on top of that, I measure obviously my body, like how well it responds to things. So I know my body really well. So ask me, I think one of your first questions about it was how I was, you know, before I was sick. The thing is, I was always a little bit depressed. I cannot remember when I was depressed last time. I cannot remember when I had a fight with my husband last time. My mental health have never been better than it is now. So obviously, it's not like a data point by itself. But the fact that I don't remember how it is to feel down, I think that is actually probably the biggest proof for it. Like you know, I wake up and feel, oh my God, I have such a great life. Oh my God, I'm so lucky. You know, even like when you and I start talking together, and I actually wrote one of my good friend Peter, and I said to him, oh my God, I got a new online bestie. Like you know, she likes poker and trading and HYROX. And then when you wrote something about sauna and cold plunge, I wrote to him, and she likes sauna and cold plunge too.
Every day when you start your day right and you exercise first, no matter what else happens in the day, everything else can go wrong, but you did that one thing right, and that keeps your mind really healthy. Like you're talking about depression and you're talking about feeling sad, and I remember having these periods in my life too before, but now, even though many things are not probably great, just having the one thing, the one win at the beginning of the day means so much. Is that how you see your fitness first routine, like the one first thing you do in the morning?
So I do try to exercise in the morning when it's possible, like for it. But the thing is, I'm not one of those people. If I don't, manage to exercise right away, I give myself, shit for it. We have one body, and we need to treat ourselves really well. I treat myself like my best friend. I will never talk shit to my best friend, so why would I talk shit to myself? And we humans have a tendency to talk shit to ourselves, always being our worst enemy. And I always ask people, well, why would we talk to ourselves in a way that we wouldn't even talk to somebody we don't like? And I always talk nice to myself. And I know some people think I'm full of myself, some people think I'm arrogant because I'm extremely confident. But that's the thing. Why would somebody be threatened by me being confident? Me being confident doesn't mean that I think I'm better than you. Doesn't mean that if anything, I'm probably one of the most open-minded people you could ever meet, because I love to meet people. I would literally just walk up to people and say, let's talk, because I'm not threatened by people. I want to know people, and I think the more confident you become as a person, I think the more you learn to appreciate. You can I got like this super babe as a friend, and we can do all these cool things together. We can do Manchester, and I don't get threatened by you, a younger, stronger a babe. I'm like, wow.
I'm stronger.
But this is the thing.
Very strong.
And when you are confident, you just appreciate other people's strengths.
Yeah.
Because that's basically just an amplification of your own.
Yeah. On that, I think that like being confident is very attractive. It's very sexy, whether it comes from a man or a woman. It's great. I think to you forever. But yeah, thank you so much, Lin.
Thank you. And then next time, I'll